Hello, this article is about burn rate and cash monitoring. This article was developed from startup experience, and I felt it would be good to explain what the burn rate is and then turn burn rate into a tool that you can use in a different kind of way. So first off, what is burn rate? And well, like the article explains, that in financial terms, it's the stages that a startup company goes through before achieving profitability. And there's oftentimes various stages that the startup will pass through in that path. So what's important is that the key word is in maintaining a sustainable level of operating cash while going through your burn rate. And sustainable is simply defined as working with net positive cash flows. So when we're looking at burn rate, we're looking at how fast we're burning cash, and how fast that cash is going out is very important to us. Naturally, we want to maintain a positive cash flow to offset that, and preferably on the profitable side. However, as we know, and we start up companies, that burn rate is key because profitability is oftentimes not the case in the early stages. And so this is our first preliminary gauge into measuring performance. We want to see a decreasing amount of burn rate as opposed to an increasing amount. Businesses are often created without the foresight of understanding how to defeat burn rate. As a matter of fact, many businesses operate on a cash zero date, meaning that there may be so much investor money or cash on hand, and given the startup burn rate in the first few months, an entrepreneur will look at that rate of cash consumption and divide it by the cash balance and determine this is how long we've got in months to turn this business around. And that's important to get a grasp on that date, but it's also a hazard to manage by that date, because if that's your only sight that you're focused on, then you're probably going to achieve it, and you'll burn through your cash, and then right there at the end of your business cycle, in this case the year, you're going to be looking for an infusion. And so the management method needs to change right up front, and that mindset's got to change. So we want to focus on what that date is, and we want to focus on cash consumption, but we also want to have an eye on developing the business rapidly in the early stages to defeat the burn rate, so that the inevitable cash zero date isn't achieved without cash on hand. And that's the ultimate goal. So in the article, I have a very simple analysis of two companies, one is sustainable, the other is unsustainable. And I only change the sales and cash and credit on the income statement figures, with all other figures on that analysis being constant, so that we don't get into a debate about what goes on the analysis and what doesn't. The key factor here is to go down to the bottom of the analysis and focus in on the positive cash flow / burn rate line, which is a set of numbers you really need to stay focused on. In the sustainable column, we have a business that generated $145,833 in positive cash flow, so burn rate wasn't an issue there. However, going to the unsustainable business, we have a $62,500 negative cash flow every month. And so that burn rate, by comparison to sustainable company, is of concern. Now, I think investors understand the first year is going to be difficult, and they would expect a burn rate. And $62,500 is, might even be reasonable by a good number of funders. in that first year. However, if the cash reserve is only $1 million, that gives this company 16 months of reserve, and that's something that is important because that's going to be our date where we're going to run out of cash. And actually, ahead of that by 1 month, maybe we should look at this as a sustainable for 15 months instead of 16, because in that last month, if we haven't received an infusion, we're going to be looking at executing the exit strategy for this organization. So while the burn rate is a key factor, and I know there's a lot of writing on this thing, I want you to take away from this that it's not important to only focus on the date at which your cash reserve will be exhausted and what the burn rate is every month. Rather, focus on the burn rate and the business processes, selling, marketing, with the entire focus being to put energy on reducing the burn rate so that the date where the cash reserves is without cash on hand. We don't go into business to execute the exit strategy. That's my point. We go into business to make a profit. So manage the business from day one with an eye on cash burn, but a focus on turning that around to profitability. So the article continues to explain this particular process, and not to spend too much more time on this. What I'd like to do then is turn our attention to this concept of burn rate being used as a dashboard gauge. Naturally, if you're watching this figure every month, it is a dashboard gauge. And so if you're not familiar with a dashboard, welcome. You need the dashboard. You need to have several financial figures coming at you constantly to monitor your business, of which burn rate is just one. What Management Insights proposes is, as we have successfully implemented in businesses, to create your dashboard where this number, alongside of cash reserves and operating cash balance, are all closely monitored, to then give you a figure that will better represent your business's performance. And so to help you set that up, feel free to give us a call, and we'll be glad to go through that with you and help you. Even if you're an established business, you're past your startup stages, and you're just looking for a better way to monitor your cash management, we'd be glad to help you with a dashboard to help you monitor this business and improve its cash performance. So we look forward to being in contact with you to help you with that as your needs dictate. So we thank you for reading the article and listening to the video, and if there's anything we can do at Management Insights to help you in your business performance, feel free to give us a call. The number is at the end of the video, and I'd like to thank you and have a great day.